What's up, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Erasure. Going back to their 1986 debut album, Wonderland. I've loved this album. I think I mentioned when I did the reaction to Who Needs Love Like That, that was one of the tunes that had always stuck out to me and that I remembered hearing on the radio and very much enjoying. So in a way, this album is sort of nostalgic, even if it's just for one or two of the tunes. But ultimately, I've very much enjoyed the themes as we've gone through. I keep mentioning it in the reactions to all their different songs, that they have such sort of an uplifting feel to their music, and it's both the sonics from Vince and also sort of the positive themes in some regard, or the sort of like emotional warmth despite having gone through painful experiences in relationships and love and intimate physical relationships and so on. So like even when Erasure songs are about the pain that those who try to forge connections with other people go through, there still seems to be a redemptive and sort of therapeutic quality. So once again, I'm really enjoying their music, and as I've now listening to songs on is it 4 or 5? This, The Circus, Innocence, Wild, and Chorus. That's right. So it is now 5 albums that I'm going through. I'm beginning to hear songs in different years and start to get stitched together a sort of timeline of the evolution of their sound. I mentioned in a couple of the reactions to Chorus that I do hear a slightly higher like electronica sound in that album. So once again, it's just interesting to hear the tunes not only in of themselves, but as they relate to a band's larger catalog. So once again, shout out to Vince Clarke and Andy Bell. But we're up to the 7th tune on their debut album. It's called Love is a Loser, which is interesting to designate love itself, the experience of the trappings, the physical manifestations of love, whether that be the actual physical connections between bodies, but also the sort of paraphernalia that goes into an interpersonal relationship, the sort of, the pictures that you take together, and the sort of, the clothes that you buy for each other, and the places you live, the couches that you lie on, make love on, and so on. All the sort of like physical dimensions of a relationship and how they can sort of inhabit, or they are inhabited by the emotions of those relationships, even if someone is not actually in one of those places or wearing the shirt and so on. So it's interesting to designate love as a loser, but obviously if one's experience with love tends to be more painful, it tends to be stressful, burdensome, or heartbreaking, then one's feeling toward love would perhaps be less sympathetic, and ultimately it could relate into the way in which it makes one feel, which is to say love is a loser is a way of expressing the idea that like if you try to bet on love, you're going to end up losing and you will feel like a loser, because it's just not a winning proposition. It's not a safe bet to make, even if the reward that maybe in some cases you can achieve or attain would in that scenario make it more than worth the risk. So yeah, we'll have to see how it manifests, and I am intrigued by the title. But without any further ado, this is Erasure from their 1986 album Wonderland, Love is a Loser. I think I heard this. Oh, I think I heard this. Oh yeah. When I think of like feel-good 80s synth-pop, this is the kind of stuff that springs to mind. Oh, I definitely heard this, yeah. Devotion can't control my emotion. They say love is just infatuation. I say love is dancing plus the nation. They say love is just an infatuation, but I say love is dancing across the nation. Interested in how that could possibly be interpreted. The love in our hearts, they say we're just two more crazy lovers. I say all we need is one another. The idea that like, if you really find the right connection, other people's perceptions of it doesn't matter. Like Come on. like oral sugar for the brain. Got love on my side. You know, that's a more positive articulation than I expected given the name of the song. I like this section. I mentioned before, I'm a big fan of Vince Clarke's bass lines. Across the nation dancing. And that suggests more of like a social phenomenon, right? Like across the nation dancing, 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 across the nation. It's like telling you what you should be doing. Like it's talking about dancing and in a way love spreading across the nation, which again I think you can maybe interpret a couple different ways. It could be a general statement of like we need more, you know, passion, even if it occasionally means like you're not in control. But you know, it could perhaps relate to his perception about the way in which, you know, his affairs and his love life was seen. Yeah, I'm not sure. So again, like I said, I have the special edition of Chorus, and there's a article in that, and sort of Andy talks about sort of, you know, his history on a personal level. And so sometimes when I'm hearing these lyrics, I'm wondering like, you know, is it operating on multiple levels? Is it kind of about his own experiences? There's even a part in the article, I think, where it talks about how he tried to write some songs from the perspective of someone dating him or trying to date him. So yeah, when I'm hearing some of his lyrics, I'm now like kind of thinking like meta in terms of, you know, the quotes that I've read from him. But yeah, ultimately it's another really fun song. I love that main kind of like high sort of electric sort of melody. I really do enjoy that. And the moment it started, it just like, it triggered some memory of hearing this on the radio, or maybe, you know, a cassette tape that my sister had recorded from the radio. Because I think I mentioned when I first started doing 80s reactions, some of my like, not only did I buy like Depeche Mode tapes and so on, but I had other cassette tapes that my sister had like recorded from like weekend radio broadcasts where they'd play like DJ mixes of synth-pop and so on. And I have some memory, I think, of hearing that song on one of those tapes. So yeah, like I said, it wasn't super familiar, but enough to know that I heard it, and I really enjoyed it. It's a fun, groovy tune, despite the seemingly like, you know, sad or pessimistic nature of the title. So I do enjoy that irony or contrast again. Shout out to Vince Clarke for, you know, sort of setting that idea or that phrase to a musical context that you might not expect. I do enjoy that. But yeah, let me know what you think of that one. Other than that, thank you for listening and watching. I will see you next time.